All right, so I wanted to talk about, I guess, pushing to intensity, pushing to pain, and ideally not doing that. But I was sitting there earlier today doing my stretching after a workout, and a song came on that was something like I'm a sucker for pain. It's an Imagine Dragons song, and I caught myself thinking, oh my god, I think I am a sucker for pain. And not pain in a injury way, because no one likes being injured. But I mean I like pushing myself probably to some extremes. I know I'm competitive. I like pushing myself. It's just kind of in my DNA, and that is enjoyable to me. But why I wanted to address it and what it kind of spiraled into my thought process started going is that obviously I know there's a lot of you out there who do enjoy pushing and maybe pushing to those extremes when it comes to moving your body and training and some of your training goals. But I think it's important to really make those differentiations between pushing yourself and pushing to pain, right? I see it, and I've obviously experienced it a lot, where this desire to push overshadows what's really best for your body to keep you pain-free and injury-free for the long term. And what I've learned, and this is why I wanted to share it, is that for me, I need to keep training days, or those intense training days, down a little bit more than maybe others who are working towards similar goals. Even when I was in CrossFit, kind of post-competitive years, when I thought I could maybe still ramp things up past an injury, what I quickly found was that I was progressing more and better when I was training only for maybe 5 days a week, compared to others who are competitive as well, who were maybe doing 5, 6, 7 days a week and able to handle it. So it's important to really be attuned with your own body, because what works for some people may not work for the other. Everyone's bodies recover different, and certainly there are things that impact recovery, whether it's sleep, nutrition, stress, and your workload, how intense you really are training or pushing during those sessions. So this is really just kind of what I would say a friendly reminder to allow yourself to tune in to what your body's telling you. If you're feeling burnt out and run down and injuries are nagging all the time, maybe that's your cue to say, I need to maybe pull that intensity back sometimes, right? It might be, it's not saying don't move 7 days a week, because moving your body to some capacity 7 days a week is certainly fine. It's instead saying, instead of maybe feeling like you need to push that long distance run or that CrossFit training or whatever it is to intensity 6, 7 days a week because you see your friends doing that and they don't seem to be injured or dealing with recovery like you are, it's saying, okay, I don't think my body can actually handle this. It's not feeling good. So maybe I'm going to give myself 5 days a week or 4 days a week and give myself extra time for the stretching and the more, I guess you could say, easy recovery type of training sessions, so that your body can just feel good on a day-to-day basis. What I've found is that I've allowed myself to tune into, I would say, broader goals and broader perspective on why it is I'm training in the first place. It's part of me. Being healthy and fit makes me happy. It makes me get to enjoy and do activities that I love, and it opens the doors for a lot of things. And so the days where, or the weeks when I feel like my body is breaking down and things are not feeling good, and I'm on that verge of, like this doesn't feel like just a bit of soreness anymore, like it's getting to pain, that's when I need to tune into myself and check myself and say, this isn't benefiting me with my long-term goals in mind. Those long-term goals for me outweigh some of the short-term goals. And that's where obviously you need to make those decisions. One way to kind of tune in to yourself if you're not really aware of what's going on is to allow yourself time to self-assess every single time you go to move. So if you are approaching a training session, most of the time imagine you're stretching, you're doing your prep to make sure your body is ready for the session ahead. Use that time to tune into your body. Use the stretching, use the movement prep to say what is feeling good, what isn't. Where's my energy at? What's my body telling me? A lot of the time, I know it's easy to kind of just move through warm-ups and preps just do them, like just get out of the way so you can start the workout. But there's really valuable information being shared to you during that time. If you're warming up and you feel that things are not feeling good, or you feel really fatigued, you had a long day at work, you didn't eat well, you didn't sleep well, those are things to tune into, and maybe it means adjusting back or dialing back and maybe not pushing as hard that day. On the flip side, obviously, there's the other side to it where maybe you've had some really good meals and good sleeps, you're feeling confident, you warm up and your body is feeling awesome, it's feeling good and ready to go. Maybe that's a day you do get to push a little bit more and try lifting that little bit of extra weight or picking up the pace in your run, whatever that may look like for you. But if you're not giving yourself the chance to actually tune into your body and assess what it's telling you, you're missing out on huge opportunity to take your performance, to take your training, to take whatever the goals are you're currently working towards to the next level. So looping back around, if you are constantly in pain, as in injuries, nagging injuries, things that do not feel right, over top of just maybe basic soreness or maybe discomfort you feel when you're stretching, that is your signal to tune in to yourself and ask yourself what areas you might need to address to properly give your body the chance to recover and rest. And just a kind of side note, if you're someone who's training for like a high level sport, you're a professional athlete, obviously there's going to be a variance in that kind of stuff. There might be times where, yeah, you kind of do have to push through, which is unfortunate, but that's the reality of high level sports. But what I'm talking about really is more geared at what I call the everyday athlete. All of you who are out there pushing yourselves because you want to be better, you like sports, you like movement, maybe you've grown up in sports, and so it's kind of ingrained in you to have that competitive nature. I'm talking to you guys specifically in that you are already on track with your health and wellness and you care about that. So make sure that you're really doing all that you can for your body by tuning into it, listening to it, and making sure you're not feeling like the only way to make progress is to push yourself into this pain train, this point of injury, this point of constant nagging things. Because really, when we think about health and wellness and our bodies lasting for the long term, generally that's not going to be the best case scenario. I hope that made sense. I really want to share it because I think what I put out on Instagram sometimes makes it look like I'm training all the time, when the reality is that's not the case. Like I said, for me, 4 days a week of pushing it is kind of my threshold on the top end, and 3 days a week is just maybe I go for walks with the dog, I stretch out, I do my locomotion work and that kind of thing. So don't stress what you see others doing. You need to do what's best for you and make adjustments that are going to help you not only now but for the long term. Take rest when it's needed. Make sure you're addressing your nutrition, your sleep, your stress. All those things are aligned. Then you might find naturally you start being able to push yourself more and more anyway. So listen to your body, keep having fun with training, keep pushing yourself, but see if you can really focus on pushing yourself to a point that's going to keep you healthy, because ultimately that's what I know most of you are training for anyways.